Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. A question that we should all ask: why does magic exist in the first place? In order to answer that question, think about the following questions. Why does Allah, the God, sends disease upon us? Why does Allah sends hypertension and diabetes and renal failure and bacteria, viruses, and other harmful things? So the answer is very clear, but it's not very intuitive. God sends these to keep us attached to the religion so that we seek protection through our religion. Because without these, we will never mention the name of God, Allah. Without difficulties, without diseases and sickness, without needs, people will stay away from Allah. They will never remember the name of Allah or to read the Quran or perform any acts of worship. That's why Allah says in Quran that we try to frighten them. Maybe they will come back and ask Allah and make a sincere prayer, dua. So Allah designed all the things, including magic, like other calamities, to force people to strengthen their relationship with Allah as a kind of protection against disease, against misfortune, against bad luck, against black magic, against psychological diseases, against emotional diseases, and other life issues. Allah sent all of these things upon us for a purpose. Allah has said that in Quran that He has not created anything without a purpose. If we look at it from that lens, it becomes a bounty because without it, we will never remember Allah. Without these difficulties, we would never remember Allah. We should truthfully answer this question. If we don't have tough times in our lives, how many times will we remember Allah? How many times will we remember the creator of the universe? That's why we don't find the people of the blessings, the people Allah called them out in the Quran, the people with luxuries of the life and not tested, being tested at all, that they come close to the path of God. And why is that? Because their life is soft, they didn't need to come to God. While the prophets and the mu'mineen and those who truly believed in Allah are tested with the difficulties in this world. The things which didn't happen with the worst people, those things happened to the good people. The prophets said the people who suffered the most from the bad evidence in this life are prophets and their vice regents, the imams, and the salihin, all the people of the good categories. Usually they are subject to more testing from Allah. And why is that? Because that is the only way we will stay on the right path. That is the only way they keep attached to Allah to protect themselves from diseases, from sicknesses, and misfortune. All the daily dua that you would come across in the religion of Islam, and even in all the other religions, monotheistic religions, that in all the du'as, the concept is the same: to ask God to push away bad things and satanic plans away from us during the day. Keep us healthy on that day. O Allah, provide us sustenance on that day. O Allah, bring us luck on that day. Now we see that if that bad effect is not there, we will never make such a prayer. We make the prayer sincerely because we fear these things. So these things are removed by Allah through His rahmah. Part of these bad things is the black magic. And I would like to give an example. We know there's a rule by which this world is created. And that rule clearly says that at the end of the world, there will be a day of judgment. Common theme in all the different religions. And once the judgment is done, a person will either go into heaven or hell. Now, the criteria for heaven and hell are very clearly defined. Good deeds, you go to heaven; bad deeds, sins, you go to hell. Now, in this world, if you're not attached to Allah, if you're not pushed towards Allah, if you're not connected to Allah through your du'as, through your prayers, because you want to get protection from the calamities, the misfortune, the difficulties in this world, then what will happen? We will not care about good or bad deeds. And when you do not care about good or bad deeds, what happens? We are directly inclined towards this attraction towards the world. The satanic whispers take over, and we work towards the bad, the sins, the bad things in this world. As a result, if someone is working towards bad things, they will directly incline towards the path which leads them towards hell. So, by pushing people through these calamities, these misfortunes, these diseases, these extraterrestrial type of things, supernatural things, Allah is pushing us in the direction towards staying attached to Allah. And by staying attached to Allah, we are going on the path towards heaven when the time comes and that day of judgment arises. Therefore, in conclusion, the harmful effects of black magic should be avoided at all costs. Instead of approaching or searching for information about magic, it is better to stick to the guidance of the imams and the teachings of Islam. These teachings provide a way to protect ourselves from the negative effects of black magic through like verses, through ta'weez, through zikr, the protection taught by the Ahl Bayt al-Islam. By following these teachings and sayings of staying away from the topic of magic, we can ensure that we are protected and secure in our life. The importance of staying connected to religion and seeking guidance from religious leaders cannot be overstated, as it is essential in securing our well being and avoiding harmful influences. May God protect us all. Thank you. We're going to continue this discussion on Satan and satanic influences. Assalamu alaikum.